Emily Thompson stood in her quiet living room, holding a cup of coffee that had already gone cold. It had been only a week since her husband Michael passed away, but time felt strange now. Too fast outside, too slow inside her heart. The house in Ohio still looked the same, but it didn't feel like home anymore. Every corner reminded her of him. His laughter, his voice, the way he made everything feel steady. Now there was only silence. And in that silence was her 9-year-old son, Noah. Noah didn't cry the way she expected. He didn't ask many questions either. Instead, he became quiet, almost distant, like he was trying to understand something too big for him. Emily noticed how he stayed in his room longer, how he stopped talking about school, how he avoided his friends. One evening, she found him sitting on the floor, holding Michael's old jacket close to his chest. His small fingers pressed into the fabric like he was trying to hold on to something that was slipping away. "I don't want to forget him," Noah said softly. Emily sat beside him, her heart breaking in a quiet, heavy way. "You won't," she whispered, though she wasn't sure how to make that promise real. She wrapped her arm around him, but she could feel the distance between them. Not physical, but emotional. Noah wasn't just sad. He was holding something inside, something he didn't know how to express. Days passed, and Emily tried to keep life moving. She went back to work, cooked meals, helped Noah with homework, but everything felt like she was just going through the motions. At night, when the house was still, she would sit alone and think about Michael, about how he always knew what to say, how he always knew how to fix things. Now she had to be that person, but she felt lost. Noah's behavior started to worry her more. His teacher called one afternoon and asked Emily to come in. When she arrived, the teacher handed her a paper Noah had written in class. It was a simple assignment: write about someone you miss. Emily looked down at the page and felt her chest tighten. Noah had written only one sentence: "I wish someone could bring my dad back, even just for one day." Emily couldn't speak for a moment. That one sentence said everything she feared. Noah wasn't just grieving. He was holding on to hope in a way that could hurt him even more. On the drive home, she kept thinking about it, about how she could help him understand without taking away what little comfort he had left. That night, she sat in the living room, staring at a photo of Michael. He was smiling in it, the same warm, steady smile that used to calm her. "What would you do?" she whispered, as if he could hear her. But the silence answered back. A few days later, while cleaning the garage, Emily came across a box she hadn't opened in years. It was filled with Michael's old things: photos, small keepsakes, and papers he had saved over time. As she went through it, her hand slowed when she found a worn notebook at the bottom. Curious, she opened it. Inside were pages filled with Michael's handwriting. Notes about his day, little thoughts, memories he had written down. Emily felt like she was hearing his voice again, soft and familiar. Then she turned a page and stopped. There was a letter. At the top it read, "For Noah." Her hands trembled as she began to read. Michael had written it like he knew he might not always be there. He wrote about how proud he was, about how strong Noah was, about the kind of man he hoped he would grow into. Each word felt personal, honest, filled with love. Emily felt tears fall as she read the final lines. "I wish I could be there for every moment. But if I can't, I hope someone helps you remember that you're never alone." Emily closed the notebook slowly, pressing it against her chest. In that moment, something shifted inside her. She realized Noah didn't just need memories or stories. He needed to feel connected to his father, to feel like that love hadn't disappeared. She looked around the quiet garage, her mind racing. What if she could give Noah that feeling? What if she could help him hear his father's voice again, even in a small way? The idea came suddenly, unexpected, and a little overwhelming. It wasn't a normal idea. It wasn't something most people would do. But as she thought about Noah, about the way he held that jacket, about the sentence he wrote in class, it started to feel like the only thing she could try. Emily took a deep breath, holding on to the notebook tightly. She didn't know if it was right or wrong. She didn't know how it would turn out. But she knew one thing for sure. She couldn't just stand by and watch her son feel alone. And whatever she was about to do, it might change everything between them. Emily didn't tell anyone about what she was about to do. Not her friends, not her family. It felt too personal, too delicate to explain. That night, she sat at the kitchen table with Michael's notebook open in front of her. The house was quiet, and for a moment, she could almost imagine him sitting across from her, smiling the way he used to. She took a deep breath, picked up a pen, and carefully wrote a short message on a piece of paper. "Hey, buddy, I'm really proud of you." Her hand paused after the last word. It felt strange, emotional, and a little overwhelming. But she folded the note gently and placed it on Noah's desk before going to bed. The next afternoon, Noah came home from school and saw the note right away. "Mom, what's this?" he asked, holding it carefully. Emily kept her voice calm. "Just read it." Noah opened it slowly, his eyes moving across the words. His expression changed from confusion to something softer, something lighter. "Is this from Dad?" he asked in a quiet voice. Emily hesitated for a moment, then nodded gently. "It's something he wanted you to know." Noah didn't question it further. He read the note again, and for the first time in weeks, a small smile appeared on his face. That one moment changed the mood in the house. That evening, Noah talked more at dinner. He asked simple questions, even laughed once, something Emily hadn't heard in a long time. She felt relief, but also a small weight of doubt. Still, she continued. The next day, she wrote another note, this time adding a memory from Michael's notebook. She left it where Noah would find it. Again, he read it carefully, holding on to every word like it mattered more than anything else. Days turned into a quiet routine. Emily wrote short messages, sometimes using Michael's exact words, sometimes writing what she believed he would say. Each note brought a small change in Noah. He started focusing more in school, talking about his day again, even asking if they could go to the park like he used to with his dad. Emily saw life slowly returning to him, and it gave her hope. But with that hope came doubt. Late at night, when Noah was asleep, Emily would sit alone and question herself. Was she helping him heal, or creating something that might hurt him later? She looked at Michael's notebook often, searching for answers that weren't there. She didn't want to lie, but she also didn't want to take away the comfort Noah had found. One evening, Noah walked into the living room holding one of the notes. "Mom, do you think Dad can see me?" he asked. The question caught her off guard. She took a moment before answering. "I think the love he had for you is always with you," she said gently. Noah nodded, looking down at the paper. "These notes feel like him," he said. Emily felt her chest tighten. She realized the longer she continued, the harder it would be to explain. That night, she couldn't sleep. She thought about everything, about Noah, about Michael, about the line between comfort and truth. By morning, she made a decision. She would not stop, but she would be honest. That evening, she sat down with Noah at the kitchen table. Her hands felt slightly cold, but her voice stayed steady. "There's something I need to tell you," she said. Noah looked at her, curious but calm. Emily took a breath. "Some of the notes come from things your dad wrote, but I've been writing some of them too." She watched his face carefully, waiting for a reaction. Noah looked down at the paper in his hands, thinking. There was a long silence, and Emily felt her heart race. She worried she had broken the trust she was trying to build. But then Noah looked up. "You mean you were helping him talk to me?" he asked quietly. Emily blinked, surprised by his words. "I guess, yes," she said softly. Noah nodded slowly, then stood up and hugged her. "It made me feel better," he whispered. Emily closed her eyes, holding him tightly. In that moment, the weight she had been carrying felt lighter. From that day on, things changed again, but in a different way. The notes didn't stop, but they became something shared. Sometimes Emily would write, sometimes Noah would write back. They started talking more openly about Michael, sharing memories, laughing at small things he used to do. The sadness didn't disappear, but it became easier to carry. Emily realized that what she had done wasn't about replacing Michael or pretending he was still there. It was about keeping his presence alive in a way that helped Noah feel less alone. It was about turning silence into something meaningful. As she watched Noah slowly return to himself, playing again, smiling more, living like a child should, Emily felt a quiet sense of peace. She had taken a risk, something that might have seemed unusual to others, but it brought her son back to her. And in the end, that was all that mattered.